and it's not so easy to make me stop. Yeah, but I will stop at some point. I will invite Vanita to take over, and she will. No, we'll start with you, ma'am. We'll start with your address, and then we'll invite Vanita to come up with a panel discussion, because we thought let it not be a one-way discussion. Once we have heard from the regulator, we have heard from Dr. Visala, we will invite Vanita along with couple of representatives from industry, and we have very senior people who will be taking part in the panel. Mr. Padmanabhan from MSN Labs, he heads HR from MSN Labs. Dive deeper into the people aspect of audit readiness, and we have Damodaran sir from Sai Life Sciences into the quality aspect, right? So we'll go through a panel discussion. Thereafter, I promise you, nobody in this room is going to be sitting like a passive audience. All of you will be involved in something. We'll be having a round table format discussion where we will explore. It is not a new topic. Everybody sitting here has been involved in audit readiness in some form or the other. It's a known subject. There are no surprises. So we will hear from you. How have you been going about it, and what have been your key challenges? Right. So the idea is, let's put that on the table, and after that we will share where my friend Raghav will take us through what this secure program is all about. What is it that we are planning to do differently? What is it that gives us the confidence that this is a program that can solve this permanent problem, or at least it can take a step in that direction, and we can work together to make something which addresses this issue. So I'll stop now, and I will invite Dr. Visala from CDSCO. She is Joint Director, Joint Drugs Controller of India in the CDSCO, which operates under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Thank you so much, ma'am. I request you to share from your perspective as the body which, the apex body which is responsible for driving compliance, audit readiness in pharma organization. What are the challenges you see? Are there some trends? What is the, is there something you would like pharma industry to think about? Is there something we can do differently? Over to you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Abbas, for having me here and actually inviting CDSCO to be a part of this discussion. Yeah. So I'll just talk to you from a macro perspective, sure, and then we can talk at the basic level. So what's the role of CDSCO? You're all aware perhaps, because we have the pharma here. We are the National Regulatory Authority, and we are on par with the US FDA. Not at there, but we strive to be on par with that of US FDA. We have major regulatory authorities. Every nation has its own regulatory authority. So in terms of the Indian context, under the Constitution of India, we have health as a subject, and health is actually a state subject, whereas drugs are under the concurrent list, meaning that it is governed both by the state as well as the center. So across the states and across the union territories, you have drug control departments who man at the provincial level, whereas CDSCO works at the central level. Our primary role is to ensure safety, efficacy and quality of medicines, medical devices, cosmetics that we approve, as well as export from the Indian soil. How do we achieve that is basically through the various legislations that we have, and that's definitely the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, and that's a pre-constitution. Subsequently, in the year 1945, we have had rules. We have been using these rules and this very framework to regulate the quality of drugs. So the primary focus when we had our independence, or even before the independence, was to ensure that quality drugs are available in the markets for our population, for our consumption, and for our health needs. And slowly and steadily when we moved up, that is definitely because of the Indian farmer, industry. We moved ahead in terms of drug discovery, or at least incremental innovation, such as filings of ANDAs abroad. So I call them ANDAs for the foreign land, but they can also be new drugs for our country. So this rule came up in 1988. We brought in the rule for new drug as a concept, as well as GMP as a concept. The first terminology of GMP was brought into the rules way back in 1988, and now we are sort of in the 35th year or beyond that. Over a period of time, we have seen that giants like IDPL no longer existed. So when I joined service way back in 91, 92, I would often visit IDPL, obviously for the wrong reasons. And that was because their products were failing, the company was going rampant, I should say. Later on we saw, and rather parallelly we saw companies like DRL, which emerged. We had these entities like Part Davis, which were around Hyderabad. So I worked for 21 years with the State Drug Control in Andhra Pradesh. So then I moved to the CDSCO, that is to the UTAC. From then, we have been gauging. I have been, from my personal capacity, in observing how compliance has improved. Yes, from the large pharma, we have seen the compliance improve for their own good, actually, because they target the foreign markets and they impact those principles not just for the Indian regulation perspective, but also for the international quality perspective. Parallelly, the International Conference of Harmonization also came into play, ICH, it's called the ICH, which is actually a sort of guidelines that you all prepare from the industry perspective. And slowly and steadily, the WHO and various regulatory authorities started adopting it. Instead of preparing their own rules, adopt what the scientists and industry want. But all have the same principles. That is quality, safety, and efficacy today, whether pre-approval or post-approval of a product. Now, since 1988, we moved on, and then we brought improvements on par with the WHO guidelines in the year 2000. The pharma industry then was not ready. Most of them were, large companies were obviously ready, and the small pharma wanted some more time. That is up to 2005, and it never happened, or it happened is what we have seen so far. CDSCO then again, which is for making of rules, its terms of reference is also to make rules, came in and drafted way back in 2016, 17. We drafted the revised Schedule M, which includes the various concepts of WHO TRS published in the year 2014. So we have not brought in anything new. It's what the WHO has enunciated. We brought it out in a rule. So we were not really, we are not the inventors of these rules. But it's a culmination or a thought process that, when we put these rules in place, we can have consistency in quality, enhance patient compliance, perhaps reduce safety risks. Now, what CDSCO did in 2016-17 was revise the rule as well, apart from GMP as such. What we have done is brought in a concept of joint inspection. Joint inspection both by the center as well as the state. And this was done somewhere in October 2017. This was a basic change in the rule, meaning that it is not just the state regulatory authorities who would inspect the manufacturing premises here, but it is also CDSCO. Hitherto, what was CDSCO doing? We were doing the inspection for WHO GMPs, we were doing inspections for large volume parenterals and blood banks, etc. We see differences in the way the state perceives the same rule or what the center perceives. Perhaps it is lack of exposure to the international thought processes. Of course, today we have the internet and we are able to access international guidelines. The day we joined this maybe through pages. We were only communicating through pages and getting the WHO TRS was something like, wow, we had a TRS technical report series and this means a lot of knowledge. Now it isn't so anymore. The world has become smaller. We can read the information. We can understand the concepts better. And we're all pharmacists basically, whether we are in the state or drug control or within CDSCO. Even the rules also has this provision of inducting pharmacists as a manufacturing chemist or an analytical chemist. That's because they know pre-formulation development. It is not that the others do not know, but they're taught pre-formulation development. They know quality by design concepts, etc. And ultimately, once we give permission, we need to do surveillance audit, compliance checks. We also in 2017 moved from a system of simple audits every 2 years, that is based on renewal of licenses, to a risk-based inspection system. The risk-based inspection meant that you identify the risk with that company based upon its complexity or its previous history of non-compliance or compliance, and then have a central inspection plan and inspect these premises. So it's not so easy sitting from your side. It is only product perspective or quality perspective, or a few products that you manufacture, or maybe hundreds of products that you manufacture. Coming from the regulatory front, we have to take all sorts of industry. We have to move the whole set of industry. And to do that, we prepared ourselves ahead. Not from 2017, when the joint inspection system and risk-based inspection became a rule. We started our journey much ahead. 2014, CDSCO published a risk-based inspection checklist, which is way ahead of its time. It is not like you simply have a checklist, but you can actually slot yourself as good compliance, absolutely zero compliance, or so much is wanting from you. So we made a benchmarking tool actually. A benchmarking tool which was developed in 2014. We published it on CDSCO website. It's available even now. It had the concepts of WHO TRS as well, and it was a self-assessment tool. Even FDA, US FDA and EMA have their own assessment tools. But this is only from the GMP front, good manufacturing practice front. As an auditor, what we are looking at is product development data, quality by design concepts, and then you do a clinical trial or you do a bioavailability or a bioequivalence study, you get your marketing authorization, then you start your commercial manufacturing. So idea is to ensure that the commercial products work the same way while you demonstrate it at the clinical. And what you have proven at the clinical trial, right? So this continuum should be there. And when we lose that continuum, then we can no longer say that the product would give you the same efficacy profile or the safety profile. I'm not saying that it's only the product that gives adverse events for a few people. It is also intrinsic factors that adverse effects can happen. But the idea is to reduce the variability and always go back to the golden batches. I tell my people the golden batches are the bio batches, or the bio batches are the ones which have undergone the clinical trial and its QTPP has been proven, its CPTs have been proven, etc. And when there is a post-approval change, how would it affect my product profile or my in vivo efficacy? So we view it as a continuum. Right? And GMP is a tool to enable the industry to manufacture a product consistently, meeting the same quality yardstick that was for the bio batches. So that's a simple philosophy. I mean, beyond this, we do nothing. So when we go for GMP audits and we see that this thread of understanding is broken. People from the R&D are detached once it is handed over to the shop floor level. Right? I think the talk should be, or the dialogue should be both between the R&D and the shop floor, and how your product fares in the markets. Right? A product failure, out of trend, out of specification, could be because of various reasons. Could be various reasons. Could be variability in your raw materials, the manufacturing process deviations, etc. But is there a solution to this, or simply do the risk assessment, close it? No, we did not find any specific reason. Our systems in a state of control, so we do it once again until the next mishap happens. So I think the root cause analysis, the deviations and trends, what happened to the raw materials that we were sourcing from the same vendor? Did the vendor themselves change? The supplier, has he changed his manufacturing process? Why is my product failing today when it didn't fail in context of previous batches? So I think it has to go to that level of assessment ultimately to understand that the product fails in the same manner as it did at the time of clinical trial. Or it becomes a totally new product. It totally becomes a new product, and perhaps you have to repeat your studies, maybe equivalent to your equivalence, or you have to do a clinical trial, etc. So when this scientific thinking and rigor or understanding and concepts are missing at the shop floor level, and it becomes a routine practice. Oh, I've done my job today, I've completed my task today, I was asked to scrub this way, that way, and that gelling factor is missing, I think. And apart from that, we have seen that most of the time is handwritten documents, not contemporaneously prepared, no digitization. If you do digitize, I wouldn't say that you haven't done the activity, but the questions still remain, right? So, and even for at the back end, the senior level, you might have to do your own trend analysis, you might have to work out, understand what went wrong. So, I'm not saying in this forum because that you have to digitize, but there are tools to help you. Digitization is the way, and CDSCO is also digitized today. We accept online applications, we process online applications. Our idea is to gather metadata and analyze your data, the raw data that you filed with us, particularly for the PK or the PD studies. So we are looking towards that. We will prepare templates. While your product behaves this way on other company products, it's the same drug. Why should it behave differently? Is it data integrity issue? And you might have all read that USFDA has started using AI and in its decision making. So this is the latest buzz, at least in the regulatory space, and I think it's about 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And the best part is it is headed by an Indian. And the best part is the program of AI is headed by an Indian. So why do we need all these metadata, raw data? I think big data is the way to go. And if we didn't have the data, you can't make any analysis, you can't come up with any solutions. So we have realized that, and since 2015 onwards, we have digitized. But I wouldn't say we are that very digitized as US is. We are looking for improvisation and version changes to our software, right? So all in all, we cannot forget the operator on the floor. The operator is the one who has to get imbibed, or he has to understand the importance of his role, and whether every time he does that work, does he give you the correct input or output. And we have visited other countries, we have seen that the basic question that people keep asking is, India is such a vast country, they have so many languages, do the operators on the floor understand the English SOPs? And why not the colloquial language SOPs? And of course, it's a challenge when we visit China. All their SOPs are in the local language. So, of course, we don't know how this would help. But understanding at the grassroots level on the importance of the work that they do and communicating that quality culture and imbibing that quality culture early on is the only way to go. And preparing for an audit at the nick of the moment doesn't really help. It doesn't really help. So it doesn't mean that we don't prepare ourselves for audit. We plan our audit. We have our own tools. We examine your data. We come with certain information. So if somebody is persisting, particularly auditors are persisting that they want this information, this means they are totally prepared. They will not go away without that information from you. So today we are doing desk reviews. COVID-19 we have seen, we have done desk reviews, and we do that desk review not just for GMP audits. For GMP audit, we do it, we evaluate your site master files, your product and your processes, and then we have a hang of what you do at your site, and then we come for inspection. We do pick a few products and we dive deep to do our inspection with specific to that product. For example, it was a critical or a complex generic, or it could have been things like liposomes where morphology is very, very important, etc. Sent an examination. So we come we are fully planned. And if it is product specific review, I mean, the sky is the limit. People are fully equipped. That's because CDSCO evaluates the clinical trial information that you provide to us. We give you permission for the new drugs. We do GCP audits. It's not just GMP audits, we also do GCP audits, we do pharmacovigilance audits, we do inspection of ethics committees, clinical trial sites, and all the data that you have given to us is with us, and we verify the data integrity part of it when we are at the centers, that is clinical trial centers. So what is an inspector looking at, how to prepare for an audit? I'm sure industry knows how they have to keep their data and documentation ready, provide access, answers, and how big they shoot off that problem. Have they at all identified the problem? And have they done their upfront assessment of your quality systems? And then it's all risk-based approach. That is what we have done even in the revised schedule M. So the revised schedule M actually talks of product-specific quality reviews. It talks of BQRS, quality risk management, and a few principles which are obviously obtained from the WHO TRSs. So I'm sure that we all talk the same language, that is SEQ, and if you're talking about medical devices, it is performance. And these are the 4 keywords, the gold words. And we are open for discussion. My colleague is here. He himself is an inspector. Now he is heading Hyderabad office. Whereas I'm based out of Delhi, I do mostly clinical trial data reviews, product permissions, planning for inspections, and taking regulatory actions. Thank you.
You can please stay for a while. I request Vinod to come up and present a memento to Dr. Visala on behalf of all of us. Vinod is my fellow director in Orgro Solutions. And once you seconds. And Vanita to complete the honors by offering a shawl.
Thank you
Thank you. So that was, I think, very enlightening. In a very short space, you covered the evolution of CDSCO itself, some of the new initiatives that you have taken. I have made a note, that tool that you mentioned, the self-evaluation tool. I'll certainly go through that. I think it will be helpful for us also in this program. Also, what you are expecting from pharma, you repeatedly referred to, how the equivalence between what is approved and what is sold. Right? I think that's a key message that you have been sharing. So nice of you, ma'am. And yes, Narendran is here. He is approachable to us. Being here in Hyderabad, we'll certainly keep connecting with you. I now request Vanita to come over and take us through a panel discussion where let us explore some of the key themes that we have looked at. We have heard Dr. Visala talk about it. And now to make it a more rounded discussion, we have Mr. S. Padmanabhan. He will be representing the people aspect of this audit readiness. He is of course the HR head, CHRO at MSN Labs. Also my ex-boss. He was my senior HR colleague when we were working together in Dr. Reddy's labs. We also have Damodaran sir from Sai Life Sciences. So he will bring in the quality perspective. So which means, we will have the regulator, we will have the industry, and we will have Vanita who has seen it all. And we will explore all these things in great detail. Yeah, thank you. I'll just set up the table.
Thank you very much, Dr. Visala. This was a fantastic introduction and setting of the context, I would say. A small formal introduction of Dr. Padmanabhan, who's a seasoned HR leader with extensive experience across industries, engineering, pharma, EPC, has been a very strategic business partner, has been responsible for talent development, HR transformation in multinational companies, known for his OD work. In fact, when I met him for the first time, he explained to me the entire strategy behind moving or transforming MSN Labs to what it is today. And almost, I think 2 years back we had met, and it was incredible. Everything was there on the whiteboard with him. And he is basically making his employees future ready. That's his his motive. I would also like to please request you to join us on the round table. I would also like to introduce Dr. Damodaran, who's got about 30 years of experience. He's a dear friend and very kind of him. Just one phone call and he was here with us for this meeting. He is in charge of the corporate quality head, quality department of Sai Life Sciences. He has played many regulatory roles in the pharma industry, including digitization of instruments and implementation of paperless documentation. So my interaction with Damu has been when we were implementing compliance trial in Sai Life, and over a period of 2 years we had fun, we had arguments, we had implementation, and we saw a huge sea change happening within the organization. Now what is his motive and what is his idea behind the whole thing is that he would like to use AI to revolutionize the sector and dedicate himself to elevating quality, safety and accessibility in healthcare. So welcome to you, Dr. Raman. Please. So sorry, I'm calling you Raman. Dr. Visala, I request you to please join us. Dr. Visala has very nicely set the context for us of the expectations of the regulatory body, whether it is India or USFDA or any other country for that matter. So we'll use a two-pronged approach. For any inspection to be successful, what I have seen over the last 25-30 years that I have been involved in pharma, and I've seen there are two things that happen during any inspection. One is of course the management, the role the management plays, the way their documentation is put into place, the way they have already addressed their observations, previous observations, who's the primary source of, primary point of contact for that particular inspection. So all that is that is happening at the management level. And there is a huge effort that is being put in to train the employees of the organization, to train or let's say bring them up to speed to meet the requirement of any local regulatory expectation, or for that matter any foreign body, whether it is ICH or MHRA or USFDA or anything for that matter. So we use a two-pronged approach in this panel discussion. The question is, we have the expectation already from the regulatory body. So what are some of your current initiatives that you have taken in preparation for a successful audit for your employees, with your employees? So we'll start with HR and then we can move to quality, because I think entry point is HR.
Exit point is also HR. So entry to exit. I think it's a huge subject. It keeps on evolving. We are also trying to learn over a period of time. I think when I was my experience with Dr. Reddy's and the kind of challenges we had, I think way back in the early 2010s, I think great people, FDA guys like Peter Becker came and ensured that he closed 30-35 factories. Then everybody woke up, oh, okay, we need to do something on quality. Of course, a lot of people are doing, but there is a jolt in the industry to strictly follow a few things. I think GMP, it landed into GLP, multiple things. GEP, then we started calling it GXP. So even people like HR started learning quality, yeah? So I know a lot of things have gone through. I myself have gone through a session or a kind of a transformation we used to call Parivartan, yeah? So Parivartan in Dr. Reddy, so we engaged McKinsey, paid them through the nose. So ensure that they give that lot of advisors and guidelines on how to improve quality. I think from that time, that's what I know, because that's the time I also was there in the pharma. From that time to now, I think there's a huge difference, right? I don't think anybody will say, no, I have a quality product. Quality is always part of the process, and a lot of things have changed. I think today the kind of an awareness has gone up very, very high, and everybody talks. I strongly feel in the pharma industry, I think the way we have also, as an Indian pharma industry, we have kind of a forward progression from starting up like an intermediates, then to APIs, then to now formulations. Now we're talking about CRO, CDMO businesses. I think there's a huge, growth from the perspective of reaching the customer with the right product. Of course, hats off to people like the drug inspectorate. They have helped us to keep on understanding the process product better. Coming from the people perspective, I think there is a continuous learning process. From at the end of the day, by design, human is an imperfect personality. So asking him to make a perfect product and a perfect process is a wrong expectation. In this dilemma, we are trying to work on a lot of things like human errors. Human errors is one of the major tasks we're talking about, and everything's. Being a sociology and a psychology student, I always correlate everything to the behavioral aspect. We all know that behavior is an outcome of attitude. Attitude is an outcome of the experiences and challenges and the culture in which we are growing up. I think that's where the concepts of quality, behavioral-based safety and behavioral-based qualities came in. I think there's a lot of things we need to continuously do. Culture, when we talk about culture, quality culture, it doesn't happen on a day. Again, my Parivartan days, making everybody know that wearing a helmet is critical. But how many of us know that wearing a chin strap is more important along with the helmet? Otherwise, helmet doesn't work. So it took almost 18 months for me to make all the people wear the chin strap, you know. So that is the way. Every day, everybody, culture is what? In simple terms, most of the people follow the same thing most of the times. So make everybody and leadership walk the talk, all these things, you know. I think it's a continuous exercise. They cannot be that, you know, I've reached my pinnacle. No. So we have to continuously keep on growing, and the expectation from the industry is also growing. Like for example, ICH. Like even earlier we used to call regulated market and lesser regulated market. I don't know, now we have started calling emerging markets. Even emerging markets expectations are very high. So countries like Brazil, countries like Colombia, expectations are very, very high. So I don't think, you know, people are telling me it is easy to pass an FDA than a Brazilian audit. Yeah, so, you know, Canadian audit, a Korean audit. So it's not everybody, even in India we are talking about, you know, the expectations are very, very high. So I don't think there is lesser, you know, regulated markets or emerging market. Everything is emerged already from the perspective of quality. I think continuous training, continuous behavioral aspects of training, continuous hand-holding, and these are all regular things. In fact, in the advent of digitalization, a lot of things, all the transactional things are getting addressed. I think most of the things, we are talking about EPPRs and EBMRs. So I think most of the things are getting addressed, but a lot of things are continuously happening to ensure we are there. Okay, I think we'll have to continuously do. There is no end to, we have, the goalpost is keeping on moving. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite Damu. I have seen him for over 7 years now, and he has been a strong advocate of training and digitized training. He was so passionate about it that his vision was very clear. I don't want a single paper on this table. And within 1 year, I remember, his team created 60 e-learning programs, in-house team. I mean, that was incredible. So, I'd like you to share that journey.
Thanks, Mika. Thank you for inviting me. And it's an honor to be along with Madam Padma. We'll talk about the journey. Actually, when we decided to move to the paper to electronic journey, we decided to go with dual compliant. I said actually when we are moving electronic system, then people have to, I cannot force them to do it actually because it needs a time to adopt the electronic system. I wanted that all the individuals actually, we decided on the software, to experience that software. They said actually in the world actually nobody has asked. I said all, those days actually we had 1,500 people. I said okay, then we are not going for it actually. So we taken back, you know, so wanted to give the link. They said actually no, I can give a licenses, but how long you will take to experience? I said you don't worry actually. We can make sure that actually everybody gets experience. You won't believe actually 4 days time, you know, and with the training halls we've set and given a training, you know, created a individual user IDs, you know, they experienced those operations, how to do multiple trainings like SCOM trainings and as well as the PDF kind of a trainings. They experienced. It's not a perfect actually, but at least they know actually when they are converting from paper to electronic system, easy to adopt. So we have done that actually. It was an amazing journey.
So 97%
completions actually. Then we have done all the qualifications and other things. That's a point. This on the electronic journey. Okay. Coming back to a basic question on actually what need to begin. Padma talked about people aspect. So then nowadays there is no actually readiness. We don't have a time for readiness, right? Moreover, we are in a CDM, okay, and we have biotech customers as well as most of the innovators. So we face almost 60 audits per annum. Every week we have an audit, okay, and also multiple regulators. Okay. Now what we have decided was actually he talked about Peter Becker, what he thought to Indian industry, apart from what he has moved, close the factories basically was actually to interpret the guideline. Part 11 was there actually even 1999 onwards, but the industry did not understand, including the regulators. I'm sorry, madam. to say that. It's a fact of the matter. Actually, every company was moving, and we are getting approvals. So that he has, that's the only thing he has told to the industry, taught to the industry. So I also faced twice to Peter Becker. Once we cleared, and once we had a problem. Okay. So that's the thing actually. So if you look at the regulators' expectation, also in every decade it's changing. Okay, initially with the paper-based they were doing it, then they started on the engineering aspect of it, then third on the Part 11 complaints during this Peter Becker era, I can say. Then now it's coming at the sterile assurance and as well as the facilities. Now concentrating on the cleaning aspect of it, cleaning and investigations. So inside what we have done, the last 2014 we said actually we'll convert everything to electronics, so that actually the data integrity issue is taken care. Three aspects to it to be ready on this. One is data integrity, traceability of the material, traceability of the people, traceability of the documents, traceability of the equipments, everything. So that is, if it is ensured actually, then you are clear. Third aspect is contamination control. If you take care of three aspects actually, we'll be ready. You can, as a quality assurance side, actually brings me to. So we work on each processes. Data integrity aspect, we said actually we will completely convert to electronic system for all material management system, quality management system, and as well as document management. Today in Sai we have almost 80% of document, 85% of document in the manufacturing as well as in research and development. That gives a very confidence to the regulators that actually is one aspect. So when we have done it, we have went to the next level of actually, once you have got a huge data, 7 years data, multiple lakhs and lakhs of data is available. Now we have to utilize the data to extract and see actually what the trend is going on. All our management meeting, BA dashboards actually start working, okay, which is not enough actually. Now we are going to the next level of actually AI predictive. Madam talked about it actually, FDA, we started working on it. So we are working on the AI tool for predictive manufacturing. So we have a huge database available from R&D experiments, technology transfers, and as well as in the manufacturing. So put together, we have started working on it. It's giving a fantastic. I'd say actually AI is going to revolutionize the industry. That's what my feeling. And I have experience now currently, and I have a confidence that actually we can build as this one. Second, in the contamination controls, you have all the contaminants from the material aspect, from the plant aspect, from the equipment. Actually, we have a detailed program on that. Actually, if you have all the procedures in place, actually, yes, over a period you will have a learning and improve on that. Actually, including although you have put all the processes in place, cleaning, you will have a lot of challenges like stains, holding times. All those things will come actually. Work on that. Continuously work on that. The regulator says you are continuously working on it. Yes, definitely they agree and to it at least. Third is working on the traceability. All materials from the entry to exit and people entry to exit, where and all, where they are working on it. Traceability is there actually in the electronic system or even the manual system. Equipments, where it is used, how it is used actually in the documents, either in electronic system and likewise actually everything. Or if it is all traceable, these are major things actually, I would say, apart from the routine, other things actually will be helpful to be ready, confident on all audits.
Thank you so much, Ram. Ma'am, you had set the context for how we should be working currently. I'd like you to please share with us what is future looking like. What are you expecting from the industry in the future as far as training employees are concerned?
So I think very well said by the experts. Training the personnel is the key, but also we have experience of collective experience as spoken by another speaker on how we manufacture the product at a R&D level versus the commercial space. And then this data, when we digitize them, we get lots of metadata. How to use this metadata to trend your processes, to put them in the right place. First thing, have data. Second, trend and observe your data. Use it, you analyze them, and continuously improve your processes. And rightly said, yeah, this is what the regulators want. So, understanding your process, understanding your product is, I think, the job done. But how do I understand my process when it is on the shop floor level? In the pilot batch or in the early time, they were all paper-based documents. Now, how do I, correlate it? So these will be the challenges when we want to integrate the paper-based information versus the commercial information. And I think this full cycle of management, and the day you understand, yeah, initially we did this, now we have totally changed our processes, and therefore it's likely that my PK would change or my efficacy would change. What more can I put in place, right? So it's a continuous journey, and these software solutions might, I'm not here just for the software purposes, I'm not promoting anyone, but this data would actually help us. And we can plan several things, not just from, I'm not just talking from the industry perspective, but also from regulatory perspective. For example, we have done 800 inspections, risk-based inspections. When we digitize this, when we do the metadata analysis, so if the company came back to us and said, yeah, this is, we have done CAPAs, now we want this permission to be given back to us, previously or suspended this permission, etc., etc. So for me, what's more important is whether this CAPA is sufficient enough to enable, to release, to give back the product permission and then they can go back. So even from a regulatory perspective, we are all looking into how the data that's accruing from our inspections can help us, or take further actions, such as maybe revoking the product permission or enabling the company to go back. Okay, now you put the system in place, we assume that it will be done. Okay. So I think data is the key, and analyzing the data and taking it forward will be the key, and definitely data integrity. So data integrity, we have seen lots and lots of inspections where the audit trails are sketchy. So then, there's no point, right? So we don't trust the data. We don't trust the data when the audit trails are switched off and product permissions may not be given to you. You might have to reformulate your products, etc. And we do the re-inspection until after they show us the compliance. It's time taking even for the industry. So it's like, meanwhile we would have given approvals for a company which was waiting in the queue. We too have lost our time, actually. Right? So I think it's not just for the quality, safety, efficacy, performance, but also, the manner was lost, and considering that, others are in the queue for a regulator, there are others in the queue, which we will have to clear those applications as well. And it could be a product for unmet need in the country, right? So we wish to segregate these type of players. Park them, we take our time. You take your time, we take our time. So, and then this is going to happen. Companies whom we trust, data which is self-speaking, may go through a faster track. Companies whose data is a big question mark, we might do an inspection and maybe the company shut down. So this is what the regulator will be looking at, creating databases, and then how we plan to go about. This is how CDSCO, and it's not just CDSCO who is doing the this type of data analysis of the information that they have received from the industry. But also, I would say even the state regulatory authorities, but of course they're in the preliminary stage of giving permissions or licenses. But back-end data, when you have the back metadata from each of the industry, we will start comparing as to what are the differences, are there real data integrity issues, why this product is giving this picture profile of PK, why this product is, passing or made to pass. So that data is with us, with the regulatory authority, and they may knock at your door. I mean, this means it's enabling CDSCO to assess you without even coming to your doorstep. Right? So the data and digitization is going to be a big game changer. This will be an enabler, and we don't even need to come to you. We'll keep the industry in the back burner and we find some data fraud issues. Yeah.
I think the world is really changing very fast and expectations are changing very fast. I'll open up the floor for a couple of questions from the audience in case if you would like to ask any of the panel members.
So,
Yes.
so okay, I'm loud enough.
Yeah.
So because Madam also touched on very good point, like that process is transferred to shop floor.
The question is for
For anyone can answer.
Anybody who has answered.
So it's a very good point because only variable in our system is the human. Because you can build very particular systems, you can invest in technology or instrumentation, but still you have one factor because in India our process still it is not 100% automated, any of the industry. Still there is human intervention, and that's very important how you train your people. And it's not easy, like you can't train in 1 year or 2, it will take years together. Like I give an example of Toyota, they're not built in the 1 or 2 years. Anyone can go see Toyota, come back, copy. It's not easy to copy because you can't bring that mentality of the people working in a Toyota for years together. So it needs some time. And everyone, all of you touch that point, human resource or quality or even our regulatory. So that's really important. So now we are evolving. So what next phase of like evaluation, how will you control that variation in the industry to bring that consistency in the quality of the product? Because all the deviation, if you see, it's like human, they are doing manipulation, data entry, it's like human factor. And all 483s, I think 80% falls in the same category. Inadequate procedures. If you see the guidelines, it's crystal clear. If you go ICH guidelines, they give a hard set of actions you have to do it. But still, many company fails, they struggle. Even Schedule M is equivalent to like ICH guidelines. Still, many companies, world-class companies fail to implement. It's like either part of interpretation they are not doing properly, or there is some gap in the implementation. So what is the next revolution industry want to take it? So I want to understand from the panelists.
maybe know your name and company name. as
Yeah,
well.
my name is Prashant, so I'm from Clarent India Limited.
So who would like to answer this?
It's true that actually, you have a multiple kind of a people, right? So what we do basically is, every company will have one culture, right? It has to talk from that. We are very clear. I don't think actually in India, any of the owner or the management committee would like to deviate anything from this. So this is an assumption actually at that end. If we don't deliver, we will be good. So that's a fear actually in among the shop floor. That is why these all things are happening. So you have to give the comfort to the people on that aspect actually. We are okay to fail, but we can okay to not deliver on time. But we have the prime aim is to deliver right product. That's culture actually. What I think most of them. Because I am a quality assurance head actually, the various companies actually, quality assurance, the fear for the shop floor people to approach the quality assurance. If they actually they will ask for a deviation, an investigation, the material, so this is actually, okay. Now, the quality assurance has to be enabler, number one, okay. If you do only police work, it's not going to work. They will come and tell you one, they will not tell 10. Okay, it will happen. Okay, so you have to be quality assurance have to be enabler. Okay, so that's what we said actually. When you make that electronic system, this all will help. Okay, from electronic. At the same time, the cultural aspect of it. Third is understanding on the people. Okay, what we do basically categorize the people into multiple categories. So 5 type of people in the world. One is innovators, the refiners, the doers, the troublemakers, and the dead assets. These are the 5 types of people out there. Correct? When you are shop floor, you categorize these people. You see the trend. For example, I'll tell you, if you have multiple blocks, the training non-compliance happens only in particular block because of the head of actually, his attitude actually happens, because you have to insist on that. So we categorize these people into five categories and make a skill matrix accordingly. Accordingly, we'll give the training. Okay. Now, removing the dead assets, depending on the company, the big companies, you will have 5 to 10% depending on that. Very difficult to, you need to have this kind of all type of people also. You cannot have only innovators in the company. That's also a problem. So we do this mapping of the people, give a training, and also Indian education system itself actually is like we are being forced to vomit everything actually, not to learn something, right? So what happened if you look at actually in our quality, not quality, in our factory shop floor, pump in hundreds of SOPs. As soon as this guy actually is already not done good studies in his college, he has come to the pump in so much of you put that this is a requirement of this. So if you give it actually it's not good. Okay. So identify only relevant SOPs and give a training. It doesn't need to know everything in the world actually. Don't give deviation training is required actually, not to the level actually which quality assurance is going to do, investigations and all. Probably you may be a part of investigation. Reduce the number of training, that will be effective, number 1. What we have done basically is actually, what PDF training, for example, in electronic system, is not going to work. He is not going to read actually, he doesn't have patience to read actually, he is not a good reader. So we create a SCOM content created actually. Create the content to make very attractive so that actually it will be going into his mind. Also, video-based training we started actually, actual operations with the simulations. We spent around about 15 crores on this kind of a thing to make it effectiveness. Now, still, it doesn't talk about a behavioral change actually. Again, you have to do that assessment of the man. Okay, definitely you have to take care of the troublemakers. Otherwise, they will spoil the entire. This one actually. This is what we're trying. I don't say that we are 100% success. Okay, this is what we are doing it actually, and we are the culture of the company is good. So people have to adopt actually. There is no other word. This is how we do it. But I don't know to the satisfaction we are given an answer or not. But this is a problem actually. Problem to the whole industry.
One more question from the audience. Yeah. Can we take that one? Please, sorry. Yeah, please. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Sridevi. Mike may not take it.
It's okay.
I'm Sridevi. I'm from Newland Labs. I'm working in corporate quality assurance. I just wanted to understand now that the AI is booming, how it is going to impact the pharma industry. Maybe a general question.
Yeah. How actually? Current status of the AI in the industry, not I'm talking about the Indian industry. Indian industry has to mature fast. Most of the cases actually it's all driven in a discovery. Okay, so discovery is 100% actually. Most of the innovators start working on it. Innovators using AI tools because you will have to identify lead identification. Actually, you have to use multiple experiments and all. Maybe from 50,000 molecules, you get only one drug. Okay. So earlier, actually, you had to do a lot of experiments. You had to create a milligram level molecule, and test it. Actually, now all things are being, AI driven. Actually, so that is becoming faster. Now, no longer actually generic. Used to give $1 billion. Now it's a specific period only is coming. So you have to use it. All the innovators started using it. Biotech companies also told. This is one part. The second part coming to Indian industry. Okay, what we can do is mostly in the generic and some CDMOs helping the innovators to bring in the molecule in a faster way. Now we have got a huge data is available, and you can use this tool actually. One is there are two things in our actually. Most of the companies that are only manually in nature are digitally matured actually or in between. Okay. This AI tool, our experience I'm telling you actually, when we have started this journey, we thought actually extraction of data off from the electronic system easy and use a predictive tool in ML, Gen AI actually reporting structures or different LLM models. But however, we realize that actually even from the paper data you can completely extract, validate it, okay, with the 99% successful data and use it in the AI predictive model. In my opinion, okay, more than actually innovate, because in the clinical molecule, you will have a number of batches are very less actually. This AI tool will be very effective for Indian market, especially for the generic. So, what is the advantage of AI actually? What is different from the normal QBD which we are doing it? This throws out actually the correlation between the defined parameters we are doing with the QBD software, and the AI tool will give multiple non-defined parameters. For example, distillation, you say turnovers actually, or layer cutting, or trying time, or trying pattern actually. Extract data from SCADA. This all will have a correlation with your product quality as well as the yield actually. So in my opinion, this is going to revolutionize, this is must for Indian industry, is my opinion, because we had to survive. Now after our front drum has come, actually is putting, checking back, that's okay, but it's going to come. The pressure is going to come in industry on the price. So this is my opinion, and it's going to revolutionize this.
And I think it will also reduce the innovation time. There will be a huge reduction. Earlier it should take 20 years and $1 billion, to come up with an innovative drug. Now I think that time will kind of reduce. You would like to ask a question? One last question. So one question either for Mr. Padmanabhan or Dr. Vishala.
Yeah. I was just about to ask from Dr. Vishala.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, ma'am. I am Sridhar Arnapuri, compliance specialist with Resilient Technologies, basically from pharma journey to compliance. Something which is like we have touched the part of scheduling. I think companies have started implementing it. What was the early feedback you got, because you have already extended the deadline, right? And also, what were the most critical areas they have started complaining that this is something where we need more time to implement? Or maybe something digitization is looking easy, but not so like that. If you can give some light on it, we'll be happy. Thank you.
So when the revised schedule was put in place, we decided to make it final. The draft was there since a long time, but when we wanted to finalize it. So what we have done is for companies, even back then, companies wanted like 250 crore above companies. The compliance timeline was within 6 months, by 6 months. And for the smaller sector, with less than 250 crore, it was, I think, 1 year. So the industry wanted an extension, and but then we decided with the Ministry of Health that it should be only a conditional extension. So this means as of today, companies with a turnover of 250 crore per annum, it has become fully essential to comply with the revised schedule level. Whereas for companies with the lower end, will have received some time. So their concerns seem to be like, it's not a question of digitization. First and foremost, I think definitely it is lack of infrastructure. 2, manpower. And right, what has been discussed so far is definitely lack of quality culture. See, first and foremost, if they knew the product development, and even if you didn't know the product development per se, you could borrow the technology, right? You could transfer the technology and use it. If you have the facility which is schedule and compliant, you could have manufactured it. First thing, understanding your product itself looks like a issue with the small pharma. Definitely is quality culture, infrastructure, and they think it requires a lot of money. So in my opinion, it's not just the monies that are required, but I think it's a sea change in your mindset that is required. And today what the feeling is, if you want quality, then it comes with a cost. So I don't think that's the only yardstick. Right? Failure in quality also causes harm to the patient, and we are not here to cause harm to the patient, but actually treat the ailment. Industry is understanding that investing in the right people, the product and the process, and with the right attitude can help them actually stay longer in the market. Otherwise, they will be thrown out of the market. So CDSCO also publishes the NSQ drug list, the not a standard quality drug list, and every month we compile them. We draw samples across the country in front of our inspectors. We test it in our labs. We have several labs, 7 labs, mini labs. We also have mini labs. We test these products and then we find that majority of them they fail in dissolution. If it fails in dissolution, my thinking is you have not at all understood your product and your manufacturing process. So we take it, we have compiled that, it's available on our website, and that is actually, we realize that these NSQ list, industry is fearing. So we are happy with that fear. And then I said in one of the meetings, all the state drug control, also drug control officials draw samples, they too test their samples, they publish the NSQ. But it's in their website. Right, but if it's a foreign country like WHO or US, etc., they would actually look at the CDSCO website, which is, so now we told you in the WHO we have an NSQ alert system, you can go through that. What they do, they pick up from CDSCO website, and now it's like, shaming for the Indian farm. Why would somebody want to purchase your product abroad? How small it may be, that country, why should they purchase your product when you don't even know how to formulate your product? So I think that fear psychosis has already come in, and but it's not fear. First thing, if you want to stay in the market and continue by providing quality products, you will have to invest. And if you can't, I think we have to come together to help that industry. They can buy the process knowledge as well. Today we have CDMOs, they can actually do so. Industry, of course, you might have seen the PIB news, the Press Information Bureau news, and they have to submit the form A, they have to do the gap analysis and also tell us in each of these 6 spaces, areas, there is infrastructure, personnel, equipment, or quality management systems, etc. And then take the money from DOP, Department of Pharma, they are giving the money to upgrade your systems and processes. So even to do the gap analysis and to take the money, they're not coming forward. They want some more time. So I think, of course, Big Pharma should also be there to handle this small industry, to enable them understand this product. In Big Pharma is only making those products which are new, and we also need essential drugs, right? So maybe not DRL or Sai Pharma is making paracetamol for us. So we need affordable medicines as well. So it's in our very own interest that we enable these small scale sector also, because they are not only providing the, I should say, entrepreneurship, but also they are giving boost to our economy. So they can't be really shut down. This is my feeling. And all of them started small, right? Even today, the Big Pharma started small. The digitization part of it, maybe not that huge, expensive app-based solutions, but companies can have their own small clouds, digitize and put their information over there. These small solutions can actually help them.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think very beautifully we are now sitting on a threshold of what we have done in the past 10 years, and in the past era, the past 1 decade, 2 decades, where we have reached today, and what is the future looking like. I think very beautifully we have, culminated the entire conversation around this. I would now like to invite Raghav to share with us how we are going to be future ready. As simple as that. As far as systems, processes, and people are concerned. So thank you very much for joining us on the panel.
Professor, come, Miravi. So I request Mr. Roy Joseph, one of the senior most HR person present in the room, to present a small token of appreciation to our panelists. So there was a time when Paddy used to give the rewards. Now I am so fortunate that we are able to.
Hope I gave good reward. What I gave is coming back to me.
He's going with the age.
Thank you so much. Mr. Damodaran. And Vishali. Thanks a lot to all the panelists. So, I think we have heard a lot of perspectives. Now, I will invite Raghav to talk about, what this program is all about and what is it that we are looking at doing differently. We have generated a lot of expectation. Raghav, you are going to be in a tight spot. Do you allow some questions? I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Naki. Once I finish my introduction of secure to all, and probably questions will be answered collectively by me, Vanita and Naki, because the program designers should also be involved in answering your questions. So then only it will be a complete answer. Otherwise it will be an incomplete answer. Okay. So basically secure, as Naki told in the beginning, that they took a lot of time to come to a conclusion of a secure word. So it itself is standards, enforcement, customer understanding and regulatory excellence. So here I have all my senior people, Dr. Damodaran here. So I was associated with him for a few times. It's a very short period I can say, but I was fortunate to be with him there. And today he is here. After a long time I am seeing him here again. So this boot camp is basically with respect to the enforcement of standards enforcement, customer satisfaction, understanding and satisfaction, regulatory compliance. Okay. So I will brief you about this. Before that, why this is being taken up? Secure, why we have thought of having a secure boot camp. You have nowadays in industry you are seeing a lot of warning letters coming up, lot of observations coming up, okay, and FDA is doing a lot of unannounced audits. And recently, the day back, 2 days back, I have seen some statements saying that from August, FDA is again starting the unannounced audits, which are going to happen in India. And Mr. Trump has given that they are going to start industry in America and they will stringent the foreign country audits. That means we will be tough. So you can see we have just, these are all known and readily available data. We have just pulled up to show you how this different observations, 483s have been given in different areas. So if you see this, you can see this, mainly the problems are with written procedures. Means there are no procedures, few procedures are available but it is not written properly or not up to the standard, and if procedures are available it is not followed in total. Okay, so these are the major issues we can see. And coming as Dr. Damodaran sir told, yes, contamination control, very very important. Nowadays you will find a lot of cleaning validation 483s. People are not cleaning, they are writing it is clean, but when the inspector observing the equipment, automatically he is finding traces of previous product in the equipment. So this has become the major issue, so we should concentrate on the 3 items which he was telling. And all this comes with the training. Obvious, until unless your employee is not trained properly or he doesn't know how to carry his responsibilities, right? Then nothing will be in place. So for that, we have taken few words where what are the requirements of standards. So we do have plans. I don't know to say this, but unfortunately we are doing it. Few industries do rightly, you don't do it because they have a training schedule. But trainings are not important as per the schedule. They are missing the schedules. They are just recording the data. Okay, sometimes we are doing it just for sake of audit or sake of audit. So we would say no, we don't do it for sake of audit or sake of auditor. We do it for sake of teaching or making our employees perfect. And we ensure that quality, safety and efficacy of our product is maintained anytime. Okay? So these are the different points everyone knows. I don't want to explain in detail, but this is one part where we are thinking of impact. This is a framework. Okay? This framework, if you adopt in your organization, your product quality, safety and efficacy is maintained. So what does this mean? Like induction, methods, procedures and conclusion tests. So this impact framework has direct impact on the quality of the product, safety and efficacy of the product. Okay. So introduction is what the context of your procedures or methods available. Then the methods are the structural outline of your procedures. And procedures are the detailed internal and external procedures which we write as standard operating procedures. These standard operating procedures are derived through a guideline. We take the guideline as a benchmark and against that guideline we prepare all this. And when all these three, introduction, method, procedures are outlined, then we do the conclusion test. Means we do testing on that and we say yes, we are compliant to the standard. We are compliant to the regulatory authorities. We are in compliance with the internal procedures. We are in compliance with our external customers like regulatory authorities and the buyers, the customers to whom we sell our product. So this is the impact. It is a framework. If you put this in place or you follow this impact, you will achieve the quality, safety and efficacy of your product. So coming to our program, Secure. Okay. So taking this standard enforcement, customer understanding, regulatory excellence, we made a statement saying that standard enforcement with customer understanding to achieve regulatory excellence. Okay. So here standard enforcement is you are putting your standards, SOPs, internal, external, with respect to the regulatory authorities, everything. With a customer understanding is whoever the person using that procedures should understand that SOP or a procedure or whatever is available. So how he understands that procedure? There should be training given to him to understand that procedure. So as Damodaran sir told, lot of SOPs we dump on the personnel. He don't read it because he don't have time first of all, and he don't have that much of patience to read that. So what would we do is we need to select the SOPs, the core SOPs, and train them as an audio visual or some the video visual, anything we can train him. But that training should be imparted in such a way that he understands that, which is very important. So customer understanding, then once this is done, your standards enforcement is done and your customer is also understanding about that, finally your excellence, regulatory excellence is achieved. That means all your FDA audits or EU GMP audits or any regulatory audit or any customer audit is ready. Your call. So basically Secure, in the beginning Naki was telling you, we want to start this as an event and make it as a culture. Okay? So elevating executives from shop floor execution to Secure excellence. So our Secure program main agenda is that we will go to the shop floor people, we will discuss with them, try to understand what is their problem in executing their activities, then we train them. So we have a workflow. I will show you the workflow of our Secure, how we proceeded, But before that, we will try to understand their problem and then fix the problems accordingly. So this, whatever the secure, we have decided to go with a boot camp. It is a holistic approach, right? So if you really see nowadays, any regulator, any customer, if there is any problem or they are giving any 483 observations, they are looking for a holistic approach. Earlier we used to say this bottle is not good, so change the bottle. That's it. But now they are saying, yes, you are changing the bottle, but next what? Do you have similar type of bottles elsewhere? What action you are going to take for that bottles? Right? This is a holistic approach. Means if you have a problem with some department or some function, you don't fix it there only. You take it holistically in the entire organization and fix the problem. So we are also following the same holistic approach. So in this holistic approach, we will first meet the management team, then coming to the employees, then we will meet the quality team to understand the gaps. So this is our flow where we do the gap assessment and a CAPA plan, then remediation with specific customized training inputs, then training designed directly for the shop floor. This is our major agenda. Secure major agenda is training the shop floor. Why? Because you know, a lot of people when they see a FD auditor, they get panicked, right? The reason for that is mainly what we say is, oh, FD audit. We should not do that. When we say that, employees get panicked, oh, FD audit. Means they will also think in a negative way. So we should give them a positive approach. Either is an FD audit or a customer audit, anything, let it be anything. We have to give them a positive attitude. First we have to tell them, yes, there is an FD audit. Our roles and responsibilities are like this, so we have to behave like this, we have to work like this, and then we have to conclude the audit. But unfortunately in our country, we pose FDA or any regulatory audit as a very big thing. It's nothing big thing.
Yeah, please. Actually, they're being done as the scapegoat.
Yeah.
So I don't think that should be the idea. The idea should be like being prepared, right, for to face them. And it's a learning for both. Actually, it's a learning. So it's not just for you at the industry end, but also for the regulatory end. Oh, this can also happen. Yeah. So the next inspection actually goes with this perspective of that specific officer or maybe at the top management level, because there's going to be a discussion of what happened in that specific unit, and maybe it would trigger in that fashion inspection of other companies. So I think it's not a fear that you ought to have, but I mean, you made the right point. Yes.
Well, because I was also a quality head for few companies where I worked, and my team used to come, sir, we have an FD audit. I said, okay bro, what is that? No worries, let us work together, ensure that all our systems are in place, and go ahead with the audit. And if there is any problem, yes, make a note. It is an improvement for our system. See, auditors, they are coming to improve our system. They are not coming us to point out our problems. Right? So we should be positive on that. So all this we will be planning for our secure program like audit etiquette and everything. Then here are a few of our success stories. Before launching this, we already made a trial of the process, and these 4 companies have been supported by this program, and we have got good feedback, positive feedback, and they were telling us why can't you make it as a regular program. So where Naki and Vanita plan to have this secure program, okay, and this main secure impact excellence. So this is what will be the outcome of our secure program. Thorough understanding of regulatory expectations, proactive problem solving techniques, effective, this is very important, effective communication strategies. Because shop floor people, they can't communicate properly sometimes. You know, like they get, because of panic or because of lack of understanding, there will be a lot of things in that they are not able to communicate properly. So we will help them to speak, to answer by assessing their problems and making them appropriate on that. Then obviously continual improvement ensuring ongoing readiness and higher confidence and accountability. So this will be the outcome, and here we are looking for anytime readiness, audit readiness. We don't want when the audit is triggered or when the audit is confirmed, we start working on that. We don't do that. And what Damodar sir said is right. If we concentrate on those 3 points, you are through the audit. Because regulators will be looking for that. Because these 3 points are directly impacting your quality, safety and efficacy. Okay? So, thank you very much. This is about secure.
I thought it was very Tanvi for
Time will come, sir. Time will come. That is the expectation.
Of course. So, we are ready for that.
So I guess the stage is set for secure to be unveiled, and for that I will invite Narendran from CDSCO's Hyderabad office. So there is a short video that we have, that will summarize the program. So Narendran, if you can come here and press the button that gives us the video.
Launching the video.
We asked actually THub, can we do a lamp lighting and all this, it will set. Yeah, there will some fire alarm and all that will come. Yeah. Vanita, if you can do the honors, please. Thank you. Rishita will present vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. So, on behalf of the entire organizing team, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for making Secure event a remarkable success. We are deeply honored with the presence of our chief guest, Dr. A. Visala, whose inspiring words and gracious presence elevated today's gathering. The fact that she traveled all the way from Delhi to support this program is a testimonial of CDSCO support to pharma sector. And I would also like to thank Mr. Narendran from CDSCO's Hyderabad office for joining us at the event today. We would especially like to call out Mr. Kaushik Ray, CHRO of KIMS Hospital, for helping us connect with CDSCO. The presence of distinguished guests from across pharmaceutical sectors has truly elevated the event. Joining us today, the senior professionals representing the full spectrum of pharma manufacturing, spanning from quality, assurance, research and development, L&D, regulatory affairs, etc. is truly remarkable. Now, we would like to take a special note and thank Granules Pharma, MSN Labs, Epitoria Pharma, Newland Labs, KIMS Hospital, Hetero Labs, IICHE, Clarion, Fourth Partner, Energy, Dr. Reddy's Lab, Honor Labs, Gland Pharma, Curatech, Biologics, Mylan Labs, Biological E, Lee Pharma, Asian Pharma, Dickfin Pharmaceuticals, Cohance Life Sciences, Sai Life Sciences, and Azurity Pharmaceuticals. Your presence enriched the event with diverse perspectives and meaningful engagement. Finally, I would like to put on record our appreciation for all members of the Orgro team, especially Ms. Vanita Khattar and Mr. Raghava sir for their incredible contribution. And I would also like to take this moment to appreciate our volunteers, Ms. Ritika Khale, Mr. Aditya, Mr. Daniel, and Ms. Shailaja. I request them to join me here for a photo, please.
Where are they?
Were your first welcoming members to the program. So that's the team that put this event together. Thanks a lot.
We also extend our heartfelt thank you to THub for their hospitality and their dynamic and vibrant venue. We are also thankful to our media partners, especially Rafta Media, India PR Distribution, mystartuptv, and Excel Magazines. If I've unintentionally missed anyone or acknowledging anyone, please do know that your efforts are truly appreciable and appreciated. And I now invite to join us for a group photo to capture this wonderful moment.
We'll assemble here, put some chairs. Yeah.
You want to share?
Yeah. Please, it's a group photo. Please, come, please.
Want to change speaker?
Let the ladies
So some of us can do an outstanding job and some can be the chairperson. You decide.
Joseph, please come. Please.
Right? We are anytime photo ready. Thank you. We'll proceed for a some snacks outside.
Yes, please proceed for the tea, and also please do not forget to collect the return gift as a small token of appreciation from Orgro. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.